do is, let's go to the next one here. And all your instructions are written out in your PowerPoint, so it's all there. But now what we're gonna do is our very typical unloading technique, okay? So now you guys should be getting pretty good at this technique. Again, if someone's going into play, because likely that's where you're gonna use an unload. It's for competition, okay? So, or practice. So you're gonna have sprayed the forearm, okay? You'll make sure that you kind of overspray a little bit. And remember, you can always use, baby powder to deactivate that spray if you kind of got a little overzealous and it kind of went in places it didn't need to go. So what we're gonna do here is, now we're getting into some of these smaller sections, okay? So we wanna assess that if it's some kind of a, let's just say it's medial, it could be lateral, it could be any muscle, it could be his bicep that he's strained, tricep he's strained. It is literally any muscle up here. But for the purpose of the demo, let's say it's the medial elbow this time, and you've got some kind of flexor pronator strain, okay? So what you wanna make sure is you identify where all that is. If you'll flex for me, yeah. And then here we got a nice good contraction right through here, and then relax. So if he says, ouch, that hurts, and then I kind of palpate, remember how you find for your unload, you've gotta find the worst spot for what the player is telling you. And then you're gonna go a little bit below and a little bit above and a little lateral and a little medial, and you'll make your little X marks the spot so that you know what zone you're actually taping in, okay? So from there, we're gonna assume it's somewhere right through this flexor pronator group. Okay, so you see how I've got kind of that on the angle on the diagonal through his forearm, right? I didn't come like straight onto this lateral side, or the ulnar side. So from here, I'm gonna have you move that way just a little, because what we want is his arm to be kind of like relaxed on the table, okay? Sometimes I'll have them be more on their side, just so their arm is like sticking out on the table so it's really relaxed for you. Sometimes you can just sit with their arm like such, where they're sitting in front of you. So just whatever you guys feel is the most comfortable for you. From there, you're gonna make your unload strips just like you have the entire time. So I'm gonna assume they're kind of on the smaller side now compared to your quadriceps. Okay, and then what we're gonna do here is measure out his anchor strip. I put my frayed edges facing on the inside. I do that just for a neatness factor. Okay, and then from there, I start my unload. So I place, squeeze, lift, and place it back down. And then I notice this might be a smidge long, so I just trim it as I go. 50% over, lift, pull, and lay down. 50% lift, pull, and lay down. And you see how I keep the pieces together. I keep it on my other finger, just kind of hanging out, waiting for me to grab. That way I get fast at this. I'm just gonna make a couple more to fill that in. And then what will I do after I finish my strips up? What comes after that?
Put down 2 more anchors.
Anchors,
Like
yep.
last.
Yep, we gotta anchor it. Good. So now we've got this nice kind of thin piece all unloaded. I'm gonna re-anchor. Again, clean sides on the way in. I might use 2 top and bottom anchors because I want to really have that be nice and neat. Okay, now, if I sprayed well enough, if an athlete's like, that's it, leave it alone, I can play like that, okay? You don't have to cover it up. But if it's a really hot, humid day and you even like you didn't double spray, that's likely as he starts to use his arm or do whatever he's got to do, this could come off. So you've got a couple options. You could either take another piece of the coverall, which was slightly wider and longer than the original piece, and you could cover it like that to ensure that you've got some protection from his gear, that it's not gonna strip off. Or you're gonna be like, it's too hot and humid, we have to wrap the rest of the arm. So then you'll sit back up for me. And then we'll have sprayed now. Now you're gonna need to spray the whole rest of the arm, okay, here, because we just kind of aimed it in this zone. And then what we're gonna do is, I kind of usually have like fingertips going into me. That way it's just, we've got a little muscle activation here, so we allow for the expansion of the muscle, okay? And then what we're gonna do is, again, I'm gonna hug just inside all of that. I wanna really not cross his elbow joint. Even though this may have gone a little bit up, that doesn't matter. The bulk of the tape is right here. That's what I don't wanna fall off, okay? And so again, I'm gonna kind of go up, down, up, down, and now I need to sort of know where his elbow is. And I'm gonna finish right there, laterally, and close it. So I don't finish on the inside for fear that it'll scrape at his outfit or whatever he's wearing, his shirt or gear, okay? So we've got two, they're doing the exact same thing, okay? So you get to decide, you know, what do you need? Do you need this compression that's going into that, or do you need more of the unload? Because you could do this unload just as you did it here on the lateral aspect, okay? So you get to sort of play around with that, creating the dispersive, okay? Because the unload crisscross is gonna disperse just like the felt pad will disperse. And then remember, you've got all these other muscles. He strains a bicep, he strains a tricep, he strains a pec. All you have to do is get him into position, put your piece of coverall on wherever it's gotta go, and start unloading the injured muscle. Okay, so now this is the most versatile tape job you can do because it can literally be done over muscle and tendon, anywhere, of any size, okay? All right, awesome.